We will start those deep sessions from Monday, जो रात को हम daily night को we will be contemplating on the deeper aspects.
So these night sessions, जो रात के sessions है, this will help you stay centered. It will help you stay focused. It will help you stay connected to the essence of spirituality, of the soul. It will help you cleanse your aura, whatever happens throughout the day, so that you can just cleanse it and go to sleep. That's the whole thing about. We live the life and then we have to wear off whatever our minds have caught up with. Then there's the fresh day next morning. So you wake up fresh with deep sleep. Sleep is very important. Now you can't sleep well if you have too much of thoughts, which we have gathered during the day. That is why living in awareness, by shifting into awareness, if you live the whole day in awareness, it will be very lesser thoughts. You don't have to accumulate unnecessary thoughts. बेकार की जो विचार है वो आपको जमा करके रखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Okay, any questions here? If any questions, you can ask in between, or you can just raise your hand and directly ask questions. अगर आप प्राइवेट रखना चाह रहे हैं तो प्राइवेट मैसेज भेजिए. Don't put in the group. You can send a private message. I don't take names of anybody who's sending private message. उमा जी क्यों हंस रहे हैं? मुझे मालूम पड़ा. मेरा चश्मा देख के हंस रहे हैं ना. मुझे भी हंसी आ रही है खुद को देख के. इसके अंदर अजीब सा लग रहा है. That is why when I on the thing only, like, I was feeling like bursting into laughter. फिर मैं बोला अरे अरे session है. Then you guys are laughing. ठीक है. Let me flaunt it a bit. मेरा भी हक बनता है फ्लॉन्ट करने का. बोलते हैं ना स्पिरिचुअल लोग फ्लॉन्ट नहीं करते. मैं तो जबरदस्ती करता हूँ. सेल्फीज लेता हूँ. खूब मस्ती करता हूँ. जिसको जो सोचना है सोच ले. बाढ़ में गई दुनिया. हम अपने मस्त मस्त मौला बन के जीना है अपने को. 4 दिन की जिंदगी. We have very less time if you calculate according to the human. जो हम बोलते हैं ना कुछ है ही नहीं इधर. I always say this, 4 दिन की जिंदगी है. Whomever I meet, I'm like, oh my God, कितना कंप्लेंट्स है लोगों के अंदर. कितना so much they are waiting just for grumbling and complaints. That's so much of kutarka. If you just find what life has given you, you'll be amazed to see. If you compare, अगर आप कंपेयर करेंगे दूसरे लोगों के साथ जो प्रिविलेज नहीं है, you'll see maximum are not privileged. Look at the whole world and scenario. देखो war crisis, look at the earthquake, so many things, so much of suffering in this world. I was looking at that Palestine videos and Syria ka, where children are begging for food and crying. वो पानी नहीं है, clean पानी नहीं है. War-stricken areas, bombs falling here and there. There's so much of fear in everybody's mind. कैसे जिंदगी बिता रहे हैं. और यहाँ छत है, पानी है, हवा है, खाना है, मौज है, everything is there, but we find hundreds of things to complain. Only complain. नजर उस पे जाता है कुतर्क. जो नहीं है मेरे पास, जो है उसके पास गए तो वो we cannot look at the things which is there because these things haunt us, because mind has become habituated to look at the things that we don't have. If you see, it is just few percent that we don't have. 5% भी नहीं है. 95% we have everything. हट्टा कट्टा शरीर भी है, life also is there, everything is there. How to remain happy, joyful all the time? Live in awareness. One solution for everything. Live in awareness. There is no other. Suffering, I told you, no. How to live in joy and happiness. What is the opposite of joy and happiness? Sorrow and suffering. Now, where does sorrow and suffering come from? Mind, thoughts. मन ही करता मन ही भोगता. Simple. So leave the mind and live above the mind. That is awareness. Khatam. Automatically you get into that zone. It's not that difficult if it is practiced. It has to be practiced. It's not easy because so many janmas we have spent like this, thinking in this particular way. It takes some time, but once it becomes your habit, once it is ingrained in your cell, then there is freedom. Then there is nothing to do. कहाँ ध्यान व्यान करते बैठेंगे, साधना करो, तपस करो, ये करो, वो करो. All this is to lead you to that state. Once you get into those states naturally, then you won't need it. स्टार्टिंग में प्रयास लगता है बहुत ज्यादा. एफर्ट इज नीडेड टू बिकम एफर्टलेस, लाइक रमणा सेज. एफर्ट इज नीडिंग टू बिकम एफर्टलेस. रमणा का जो पाथ है, ज्ञान मार्ग जो है, वट एवर वी आर टॉकिंग सो मच अबाउट, ज्ञान मार्ग, विजडम, पाथ ऑफ विजडम. The path of wisdom is to realize that there is nothing to realize. To realize that I am free, but I am bound by my mind. Mind is the culprit. Mind gives you all these feelings and hallucinations. Mind makes you believe so many things. So if you live in the mind, you are obviously going to get caught up with it. There is no remedy. I was right now with my mom. I had gone to visit an old friend, my dad's friend, husband and wife. थोड़ा old age है. They must be 75 something. Both of them. दोनों बीमार रहते हैं. Both are sick most of the time. And both of them are worried all the time. But they do not know their worries are manifesting their ill health. It is very difficult to tell the world this. दुनिया को समझाना बहुत मुश्किल है. तुम्हारी सोच ही तुम्हारा दुख का कारण. You simply manifest what you are thinking and vibrating. Not even just thinking, vibration. भाव शरीर है. नाद शरीर आपका जो वाइब्रेट कर रहा है उसके हिसाब से आपकी सोच, your thinking. So changing, you cannot change your mind just like that. Think positive. Try. You cannot think positive. So the changes has to happen deeper, vibrational level. भाव. इसलिए we did that program, right? ध्यान ध्यान and samadhi. इसमें भाव, पूरा भाव पर ही है. And this Sunday, yeah, I'm doing that Shiva and Shakti, which I said about Vimarsha. That's the Mahavatar Baba's practice, which I was telling. It is all about activating every single cell in your body, having the deep vimarsha of every single aspect of your Brahmanda. Not that, this complete. एक पॉइंट नहीं है शरीर का या मन का जहां पे एक्सपीरियंस फैलना नहीं नहीं होता उसमें. You are like so full of that and you generate such powerful vibes in that. We'll do that this Sunday. Those who are interested can come. Experiencing every bit of it. And probably I'll teach in that how to even sit and pull prana. Prana through your breath, through your awareness, vibrating, rejuvenating your whole cells, your whole body, your mind, purifying with this prana. all the panchakoshas. So that's should be a good one. And yes, what we did in one of the retreat, we'll do it here. I think last retreat only, astral body practices. Sunday we will do that. How you can train your astral body. Astral body is everything. Sukshma Sharira. If you exercise your Sukshma Sharira, you will see the impact happening on your physical body. Many of you must remember, may remember my Gurudev talking once about him not being able to enter a temple. They didn't allow him to enter a temple. But he said, I still went inside. That is astral body, Sukshma Sharira. You can travel, you can visit, you can move through your astral bodies. We did that in last retreat. It's all again practice. It's activating that tattva and then deepening your experience through awareness and then practicing it. Practicing it in such manner that it gets fully active. Then things becomes more easier. So I think this Sunday we'll do that. I wanted to do that for past 1 month now. I've been talking about it. That's actually Mahavatar Baba's practice only. Actually, why I'm telling this about Mahavatar Baba, I had told in some of the retreats. When I used to be in Delhi, I used to do some practices. Automatically hota tha andar se. I'm sitting in awareness. And for many years, I could not do any other practice, any other sadhana. No, it was not happening only. I thought something is wrong with me. Kuch to gadbad hai. But I used to just sit and some things would automatically start happening. And I used to go with that. I used to go with that flow. अच्छा लगता था. I used to sit sometimes half an hour, 1 hour, sometimes in that, and I used to just enjoy. My whole thing was, if you enjoy it, that's it. Then it's not about rules and things like that. ये करना है क्या prescription. ये सुबह ये करो, दोपहर को ये करो, शाम को ये करो. It's not like that. So in that there was a couple of meditations which used to happen very deeply. I thought my mind is creating it. My mind is going exploring some things, and then I thought, oh, I've learned some techniques. I have discovered some techniques. I thought I'm discovered something, so I was very happy and proud about it. I never shared it, but I used to, like, I found out something nice. It's good. But later, after many years, after I was here and the retreats and all began, just before that, I think one video came to me from somewhere, and I was watching that video, and exactly the same processes. The video is telling this is Mahavatar Baba's given meditation. That struck a chord. How it could be so accurate. So many such meditations have happened, which are very accurate with some ascended masters. So I take that as a gift from them. And in couple of, I think, one webinar or two, three retreats, we did those. The very deep ones. Yeah, we did it in the activating the light body, activating the temple of light. That course which we had done, that was a beautiful course. It's still there. Those who want to can go into it. That was a very, very powerful course. I think that was the most powerful course I ever did webinar. Because before the webinar, we had 4 days. One day we spent fully contemplating on the teachings of Ramlinga Swami. One day we fully contemplated on Mahavatar Baba's teachings. We were connecting to Ramlinga Swami and practicing the teachings. Connecting to Mahavatar Baba, practicing the teachings. Connecting to Ma Laleshwari, third day, and practicing her teachings. And then finally, connecting to Jesus Christ and practicing his teachings. 4 days we did that. Those were preparatory sessions. Four preparatory sessions. And then we did the webinar, that light, activating the light body, that is. It was very powerful because I could feel, many of you also, you wrote it in the feedbacks, that we all could feel the presence of these masters. Definitely, if you invoke them, if you connect with them with pure intentions, they're always there. I have always felt their presences. I have never seen them, honestly. कोई प्रकट नहीं तो नहीं हुए, but their sensations, their feeling, उनका जो आभास है, presence है, it's very strong. Especially Laleshwari Ma and Jesus Christ, Mahaavatar Baba also. All these four people, what is common is they are, all these four masters had light body activated. That's known as Divya Sharira. It's the process of purification. Sthula Sharira, Nada Sharira. Sthula Sharira only becomes Yoga Sharira. Yoga Sharira becomes purified into Nada Sharira. Nada Sharira becomes purified into Divya Sharira. That's a light body. Divya Sharira is bright light body, pure divine body. It's not easy. They are very rare states. But yes, they are our role models because we are beings of light. My entire practices have been connected always with light beings, masters of light, the light body, ascended masters. That is why I christened my name also as Jake Light. We are all children of light. We are all beings of light. That light is having no attributes. It's a egoless component. It has absolutely no attributes. It cannot define. You cannot define it. You can. Nobody can hold the light and say this is ours. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, Parsi, Buddhist, Jain, all these people cannot claim the sun is ours. Sunlight. Light is nobody's, yet it belongs to all. It belongs to everybody, yet it belongs to nobody. Nobody can own it. The light property जो है, that is the purest form, closest form to God. Very close form to God, because beyond that is Nirguna Nirakara. Akar bhi nahi, Prakash bhi nahi. So it's very close to that. So I have always spent my years contemplating always on the highest. My guru used to say, catch the highest. Once you catch the highest, then there is no need to catch anything below it. Like when he used to teach Sri Vidya, he would talk about Lalitamba, Ma Lalita Tripur Sundari. And whenever he initiated people into that, he said, now there is only one deity for you. Don't run behind hundreds of gods now. One, that's the mother, source. From her only everything comes. Then now I run here and there. Catch that one. Nityananda also says the same in Chidakash Gita. Don't have hundreds of gods. Nityananda says, your energy will dissipate. I don't want to take names also because otherwise controversy. Whoever your gods are. In the altar, you have how many photos? आधा डजन तो कम से कम रहेगा. किसमें तो एक डजन. Some feel more photos means more blessing. More maintenance है. Because once you get into those practices, then you have to maintain it now. More the objects in your life, the more the maintenance. Simple. As you evolve on this path, everything starts dropping one by one, including all the gods and goddesses. It's a very common phenomena because you are catching the highest. So the lower rungs you are giving up. You have no interest now catching this because it's it's one simple thing. Let's say the prime minister of the country is very close to you in some way. You know him. You know him such that you can dial the phone and talk to him. That उतना close हो गया उसके साथ. Why will you run behind the chief minister? Why will you run behind the MLAs? Why will we run within the local administrations? We will not, right? It's very common. It's a natural thing. You'll simply seek the highest because now you're connected to the highest. That's the whole thing about. So that way, when he said that, I was learning all those things. So for me, the highest is light because Shakti also comes from somewhere. Shakti also merges into Shiva only. And Shiva is not that form. I am not interested in any forms. Forms means again, it is hierarchies. I am only talking about the formless because if he says catch the highest, then formless is the highest, Nirguna Nirakara. But it's not easy for everybody. So you catch that highest form which has some form. Mahalalita Tripura Sundari, that has some form, something, some element, some attribute. Because our mind is not attributeless. Our mind wants to grasp something. Man, yani, the quality of mind is to clutch, grab something. Please understand this. It is because of the nature of mind that we are stuck. What is the nature of the mind? Nature of the mind is to hold on or grasp things like a monkey. You open your eyes, you see any object, it will grasp on it. You're not aware of this. Whatever you look at, the moment you look at, a thought has to arise. If I look at this remote, I cannot be thoughtless until I'm in awareness. I can be aware and looking at this remote. When in awareness I'm looking at this remote, there is no thought. But I'm looking at it, I'm touching it, I'm feeling it, I'm smelling it, I'm hearing it, I'm tasting whatever. Panchandra is all active. But there is no thought. That is awareness. But if I'm not in awareness, then immediately Nama Rupa pops up. If this is a Rupa, this is a form, the Nama will pop, name will pop, remote. Or if it is a word written, remote control, TV remote, written somewhere. That is Nama. Immediately Rupa will pop in your head. The image will pop in your head. You must observe this. So, infinite billions and trillions of such images keep popping. Nama, Rupa keep popping all the time. Nama, Rupa, if it pops up, understand your mind has clutched something, it has held something. Because only when it grasps something, it will pop up here. If it doesn't grasp, no pop up here. So, nature of mind is to grasp. Whenever it sees something, it will grasp. Morning to evening. From the time the eyes open, it is only grasping. And grasping is what? Its tendency is to hold, pakadna. If it leaves that object, whatever that thing, immediately it will grasp another, like a monkey. That is why it is called monkey mind. You have seen monkeys from branch to branch, how they go? One branch chuta nahi, dusra branch it is there. And see how they swing from here to here. One hand is still here, the other will go and grasp it. The moment it grasps something, it will leave this hand. That's exactly how the mind works. Thought after thought, thought after thought. So the nature of this mind is to grasp something or the other in this world. You cannot say it is your eyes that is grasping. You close this eyes, you get fed up of all this scene, and your eyes is tired, you close. Immediately thoughts will come, and then the monkey is catching one thought after the other. Ek thought pakda, nama, rupa, all that goes on. The moment another thought comes, it will catch on to that, it will leave this. So, simply saying, any given moment of time, any kshana, the mind is holding to something or the other. That is why it is known as salamba. Salam means it is holding on to something. And what are we learning in Devi Kalotra? Shiva is teaching nirlamba. Let go, let go, let go. One after the other, let go of everything. In the end, nothing should be available for you to grasp. That state is called nirlamba. And Shiva says in Devi Kalotra, only a nirlambi shall attain me. Okay, clear? This whole definition about Atma Sakshatkara, Mukti, here only. Until you are holding to something, there is no Mukti, there is no liberation. In the last stages of that being, there is only and only awareness of that tattva. You can't even hold it. Like I said, there is only awareness of the remote. I can't hold it. If I am looking at this whole thing in awareness, there is no nama rupa popping in my mind, but I'm seeing this. It it is called I am aware of it. Two different words. I'm thinking of this remote and I'm aware of this remote. I'm conscious of this remote. I'm thinking means chanchal, vibrations going on in the mind. I'm aware means nothing here, no vibration. But I'm aware of its presence. Remote is there, I'm aware. Become Nandi. That is what Nandi is. Sadhak means Nandi. Seeker means Nandi. What is Nandi? You look at any temple, he's simply aware of Shiva all the time with no distraction, uninterrupted awareness. Bhairavi is fully Jagrat in Nandi. You beat the drums, you have festivals, you take Rath Yatras, you blow the horns, you burn crackers, you put kumkum, you dance, you do anything around Nandi. That is the meaning. Nandi means us, the devotee. It it symbolizes the stillness. It doesn't move. It is one directional and it is aware all the time, uninterrupted. That state is Jivan Mukta state. That state is Jivan Mukta, where Nandi might go around also, but he doesn't lose awareness of Shiva. He is fully aware. A Jivan Mukta is that who will go about doing his activities as dictated by his prarabdha. Prarabdha catches the mind and mind catches the body. This activity is going on automatically. But this being is aware of that nothingness. He is nirlamba. He is not holding on to anything, not his body, not his mind, not his intellect, nothing to hold on to. He has become a nirlambi. So, such a being who still has prarabdha running, but he is out of the clutches of that prarabdha, he is a nirlambi, is known as Jivan Mukta. That is our aim here. We are not aiming for moksha. or mukti or liberation. We are just aiming to become so aware that you are not trying to control the mind, you're not controlling the body, you're not controlling your environment, halat. You are simply aware. What has to happen is happening. That's what Ramana is trying to explain so deeply. Whatever is destined to happen, it will happen. Come what may. Do what you are want to do to avoid it. It will happen. Whatever should not happen will not happen. Come what may. Do whatever you want to make that happen or not make that happen. It will happen. Forget our life. You just look at this whole world. Isn't things just happening without anybody control? There's no control. It looks like there is big control. Look at all the madness going on. It feels like there is so much of control. Nobody is in control, because if there is real control, then you should know next shana what is going to happen. If you do not know next second what is going to happen, what, how can you call that control? What control do we have? There is no control. But see, the mind makes you believe that there is control. Look at our lives. We try to control so many things in our life. Does it go our way? It doesn't go our way. Look at the whole thing. I've given number of examples. You are just a happening here in this vast space, a speck of dust moving around. Now, many of the paths don't talk about this because they feel their followers will get demotivated. Very true. If you tell you are a speck of dust just floating around in this, then you'll say, Fir kya reh gaya? But I'm sure I'm talking to developed seekers, more conscious seekers, more mature seekers who are ready to understand the reality of life. I spent 3 years on this platform. Many came, many went. The filter lot stayed here who could have the capacity to digest the truths. Not because somebody is telling. These are guys who are investigating through their own intellect. They might be taking guidance from somewhere, but they are using their own intellect. You are becoming Swatantra. You are using your own intellect, your own awareness, looking at things, then understanding, then realizing it is the truth. You are not believers here. Oh, we believe you. I don't allow anybody to believe me because I make you experience it. You have to experience it. That is why every webinar has an experience. Every retreat is a direct experience. So, whatever we talk about, whatever, even till Ramana's Tattva, Nisarga's teachings, I amness, everything, you have to experience direct firsthand. My guru told this. If you do not have the capacity to make others experience what you talk about, then you have no right to talk about it. This is very deep. We shouldn't talk about anything which we ourselves do not have an experience, or we do not have the capacity to give an experience to others, because then it's not valid. There are room for errors there. Dry gyan has a lot of errors. Accumulated knowledge will always have errors because it's not experimented yet. However great that teaching might be, you might take the teaching of Buddha, or you might take the teaching of Shiva or something, but if that has not been experienced firsthand, it must be not be even talked about. That is why I discard completely when seekers and sadhaks keep talking about these teachings, big, big teachings. ABCD pata nahi uska. No experience, unconditional love, they will talk. Have you experienced unconditional love? Do you even know what it is? You are only experiencing love when you talk one additional word you have given, unconditional, just to polish the ego and say that my love is very great. In all that pursuit, when seekers are following this unconditional love, talking about it so much, if you look at it, they are talking about pure conditional love, and they are living also conditional love, but they label it unconditional love, dangerous. केजरी बना दिया हमने वो टीचिंग का. So unless we investigate these things, don't go into that zone. I never talk about unconditional. I will never talk because I know I don't have it. As far as I know, I can openly tell I have not seen a single person in my life who has unconditional love, whoever it is. I'll be putting this on YouTube. I'm telling it openly. I have not seen it. So until I see it and experience it, I'm not going to talk about it. Yes, I can see, I can feel the love of the Guru Mandala, the love of Shiva, God, whatever you call it. I can see that despite my errors, despite my flaws, it still continues to guide me and support me, overlooking all the flaws. That is unconditional love. This energy, this consciousness does not have any partiality. It doesn't take me to be a Christian. It doesn't take me to be a South Indian. It doesn't judge me in any manner by blood, अपना पराया, ये कुछ भी नहीं, कोई पार्शलिटी नहीं है. कोई ऊंच नीच नहीं है, एडवांस्ड है, एकदम निकम्मा है, मंद बुद्धि है, शार्प इंटेलेक्ट है, नथिंग. इट इज जस्ट गिविंग. You fall, it will help you. You go to any extreme, you go in despair, where this world cannot help you, even the best of people cannot help you. This consciousness, this presence helps you. That is unconditional love. I have not seen it embodied by any human body. So I'm sorry, I'll not talk about it, including myself. I don't have it. You must live in this manner. If you are experiencing it, if you have validated it, then talk about it. कोई बकवास, बाकी सब बकवास है. आप कितना भी टीचिंग बोलो उसको, बकवास है. It is just some borrowed teaching. So here, whatever we are talking only that which we can experience about. If we are talking, for example, astral body, we have to experience it. Any aspect you see, it will be followed by an experience, at least an attempt, I can call it, not an experience, at least an attempt towards that direction, because I cannot instill it in others. But I've seen people do experience it. So that's very important. So I was saying this mind keeps catching something or the other all the time. Some ideas, some ideology, some fancy, some hallucinations, some conditions, some beliefs, some old memories. It has to keep on jumping from one to the other. And if it is constantly jumping from one thing to another continuously, it can happen only in unawareness. So that state is called unaware state. Aware state is called when you are either aware of these jumping thoughts, and due to that awareness the thoughts vanish. ये दो स्थिति है awareness का. Either you become aware, see how the mind is jumping, देखो ये यहाँ अब ये पकड़ा, अब वो पकड़ा, अब ये कर रहा है, वो कर रहा है. That is called awareness. You're aware. So when you really become aware, the thoughts vanish and thoughts stop. These are the two states that will keep on happening in awareness. Both are aware states. This is the basic practice we have to do. I was telling, right? Yesterday also I was telling, basic to karo, basic focus करो. There is nothing called higher practice. हम सीधे जंप करते हैं, let us go to the highest. नहीं होगा. Try करो, who am I? नहीं होगा. You try whichever you want, whatever you want. Highest of highest, I amness, वो ये try करो, नहीं होगा. मन तुमको जाने ही नहीं देगा उधर. Mind will not allow you to go. You cannot learn Ramana's teachings by the mind. Impossible. I am talking to all those foreigners, Westerners, senior guys, 1970s में जो आए थे to this ashram, 1970s, very senior guys who sat with Nisardat Maharaj, who sat with Punja ji, वो पूरा बैच ही है वहाँ पे. Many of them come to my retreat. We have one day sessions there. They only tell me कि with the mind you cannot do who am I. You cannot understand Ramana. You have to go above the mind, and they appreciate the shifting into awareness. They come for that because they say these practices are good. It now helps us refine and understand Ramana's teaching. I also did not know it until 1.5 years back. And that is when I realized that is Ramana's work for me. Because I am teaching all Ramana's teachings. But with the shifting to awareness, it's becoming easier to understand. Otherwise, you try to read the books, sub bouncers. You'll not have interest only in that. Many don't have interest in Ramana's teachings. Now also. They say it's too much. It's what is it, weird. But once they become more aware, they themselves develop interest in that. से अब समझ में आ रहा है. People tell पहले I am that book we had taken एक जमाने में. देखो कितना बड़ा है. And people say कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था. But now after those retreats and webinar, ये उनका टेक्स्ट बुक है. They learn this every single day. They read this. सब समझ में आता है. हाँ, some things might not come, but you're understanding because you need great maturity to understand this. You need a very sharp intellect because ये intellect का zone है, ज्ञान मार्ग है. You cannot read it with the mind. Mind will confuse you. You have to be aware of that teaching. So when you're reading through that, your awareness is lifted up and you are aware of what you're reading. That awareness does the reading. You remove this awareness and just read it with the mind, it will become difficult. That is what is called all these higher secrets can be accessed only through awareness. You read any scripture. We have done so many scriptures till now. चिदाकाश गीता, अवधूत गीता, उपदेश सारम, उल्लद नर्पद, सर्वज्ञानोत्र, देवी कालोत्र, योग वशिष्ठ. All these are very advanced scriptures, very, very advanced scriptures. Now we are going into Upanishads. Ashtavakra Gita, very advanced. It cannot be understood by the mind. It needs to be contemplated by sitting, and everybody can only read it through their intellect. So if I'm sitting with 50, 60 people, all of them are actually aware of that. You cannot think there. नहीं तो समझ भी नहीं आएगा. And when people sit for three days, 3 hours every single day for 15 days to complete a course, that means something is happening there. Because you'll be bored otherwise. Half an hour you'll get up and go if you're reading it by the mind. No, you're aware of it, and that makes it so interesting. When you're aware, the secrets get revealed from inside. That awareness is your key chabi. You remove awareness, you cannot understand. That is why these secrets are all decoded in this. Brahma Gyan is there in Ashtavakra Gita, but you cannot decode it. Tirumandiram, all these documents, it's there. Bogarnath's Yoga of Bogarnath and all that. You see, it's all there. But you just can't read and understand it. You need awareness to decode it. Chidakasha Gita. कितने सालों से घूम रहा है इधर भगवान नित्यानंद? हाउ मेनी पीपल नो अबाउट चिदाकाश गीता? फाइंड आउट. नोबडी नोस. इवन जो डिंडोरा पीटते हैं हमारे लीनिएज में है, दे ऑल्सो डोंट नो. लीनिएज में सिर्फ फोटो है, टीचिंग्स दे डोंट नो. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट पुट एन इंटरेस्ट देयर. ऐसा नहीं है कि इट्स नॉट अवेलेबल, इट्स अवेलेबल. बट इंटरेस्ट तब आता है when grace of these masters must be with you. Without the grace of Nityananda, you cannot uncode, decode Chidakasha Gita. To win their grace, they cannot be flattered. उनको आप मस्का नहीं मार सकते हो, उनको चापलूसी नहीं कर सकते हो. चापलूसी you can do in the physical world, you can do in the spiritual world, you can do in paths, you can do in communities, you can do with gurus, you can do all here in saints. Here you can do with politicians. That's one you cannot do. वहां नहीं कर सकते. वहां एक ही चलता है, भाव. भाव शुद्ध, grace flows. Shuddha Bhavana. That is what he gave the key, Nityananda. One key only, Shuddha Bhavana. When purest grace, you see, when you are aligning and vibrating in pure love, pure devotion, pure sincerity, pure intention. What is pure intention? Pure intention means it is selfless. There is no ounce of selfishness in it. देर इज नो आउंस ऑफ छीना झपटी, मेरे को मिले, इसको ना मिले, उसको ना मिले, ये सब, ये कनिंगनेस, चालाकी बिल्कुल नहीं वहां पे. You're so overbrimming with it that you are simply praying for everybody. You will pray that everybody get it. We pray it here, right? Every session for the past 3 years we are doing. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. That's the prayer in the end. All, not just me. Because that purifies your bhava. When you say me, now by saying it, it's not going to happen. You might say, may all be blessed. But अंदर से बोल रहे कि नहीं, I want it first. It will not happen, I'm telling you. These are the codes you have to understand. I've told this many times. When you pray for yourself, you may get it or there might be delays. But when you pray for others, you'll see it will happen like this. Why? Because that has the nature of selflessness. Selfishness nahi hai uske andar. It's very, very pure intention. That is called bhav, shuddha bhavna. Not having an iota of any wrong intention, any negative emotion, anything that will curb myself, others. It is not for others also, it's for me also. He put that code, right? Pure intention simply means that whatever you ask for, whatever you think, whatever you feel, with this line, for the highest good of myself and the highest good of all. That is pure intention. So, what are we talking about? Decoding. How do you decode grace? How do you attract grace in your life? Shuddha Bhavana. What is Shuddha Bhavana? Purest of emotions and feelings and intention with absolutely no iota of me, mine, selfishness in that. Now, this cannot be done by the mind. You cannot program, you cannot train yourself in this. It's your feeling. It starts with that feeling of how you feel for yourself and for others. I am telling you, the codes to directly connect with all the higher tattvas, higher beings, higher masters, ascended masters. Your prayers. We'll do that again in Sunday webinar. I'll note it. These are very, very powerful. I'll note it so that I don't forget it. The way you pray to these ascended masters also counts. How you pray, that pure intention with which you pray. Pure intention just means you're not praying it for your own benefit. Anything you ask, It does not have an agenda for yourself. It does not have a personal agenda. It is simply for the well being, wellness of everyone involved, including me. If I want to have a subjective experience of something, subjectively, I want to experience, let's say, peace. There, when I am even praying or having the feeling or the bhava of wanting peace, not anywhere in the corner of my mind, I should have the bhava of giving the opposite of peace to anybody, even an iota. That's why I'm saying when you pray, for example, protect me, more powerful than protect me is protect us. You have involved your family now. You are looking more than this. So the prayer involves this. But I am telling it is still very selfish because it is the me and mind. Me and mine it is. Me and mine is again the ego. It's only for our convenience. Sit and think. Can you ask for your neighbors, for the whole community around? You'll hesitate. Forget protection. Let's come to the core thing now. Wealth, abundance. Make me fully abundant and wealthy. Hey, not me, selfish. Make us in my family full. Hey, not just the family. Now, can you ask your community to be abundant? You'll hesitate. That is called Ashuddha Bhavana. Hope you get that. If you're able to ask the same abundance for them, because everybody needs it. If I want something, obviously everybody needs it. That's come from the deep karuna, compassion, empathy. Karuna and compassion comes from the understanding that they all are beings of light. We are all sharing the same light. We all are coming from the same source. So that light, what we are talking, God and me, in me, Atman and Paramatman, this is all what then? Same like me, only many Atmans. So when I'm looking at my journey and I'm seeing how I feel pain, suffering कैसा लगता है? How bad it feels. And then when you look at another beings, you are simply sensitive. You are empathic to understanding how that being is feeling that pain. When you realize, yesterday we were talking about that, right? Empaths. These are called empaths. Sensitivity. There's a deep sensitivity towards the happiness and the sufferings of the entire world. See, basically, that is why you go out always trying to help. That nature starts coming in you. You're not living for yourself. You want to be a participant in this whole cosmos and are readily wanting to be a part of the whole process. More than happy to be privileged to help each and everybody around. And that is not limited to me and mine. I'm telling you again. हमारा अंदर करुणा है. We try to help, but it is very selective. It has to be my family. उसके अंदर भी टेढ़ा मेढ़ा एक दो है, उसको बाहर निकालो माइंड से. Not this person. See, sir, right now only think you are praying for your entire family, extended family, all the relatives, everybody. Will you pray exactly with the same intensity and bhava that you're asking for yourself for each and every relative? No, you'll stop at a certain end. You will go only by the favorable people whom you like. and whom you dislike, they are not included in the prayer. You notice this? That is called Ashuddha Bhavana. That is unconditionality, what you're saying. You can say that is an ounce of unconditional love, without loving, without conditions attached. Because when you have love for others, only can you pray for others. When you have concern for others, you can pray for others. You will want to be of help to others. That is a sort of unconditional love only. Anyways, but I would want to go in that word. So I'm telling simple secrets to win the grace of the Almighty Ascended Masters. It is simple, but yet very difficult. Very difficult because I demonstrated, I just showed you the examples of how it is. It is so simple, but yet it is difficult. Then that is our tapas, that is your sadhana. Those barriers have to be broken. For that, we have done so many webinars again. Releasing everybody, praying for everybody, expanding the love and energy to everybody without wanting anybody to change. Our work is what to spread that. Give life, give light, give wisdom, ज्ञान बांटो. मेक इट अवेलेबल विदाउट बीइंग कंसर्न कौन लेता है, कौन थूकता है, कौन फेंकता है. वो उनका प्रारब्ध, उनकी मर्जी, उनकी फ्री विल. देने का काम हमारा. Wherever it is needed, give. Whatever you are capable of, give. That shows the bhava, that increases, that enhances your bhava sharira, your shuddha bhavana. Bhava shuddhi hota usse. Even extending help. You cannot say, I don't have jnana in me. You have money, give money. You have energy and you have a body, go and save others. Become, lift somebody's bag, lift somebody's luggage. डोले शोले रख के क्या फायदा है फिर? Whatever we have, we are talking whatever we have. You have energies, give it. You have wisdom, you give it. You have money, you give it. You have love, you give it. You have kindness, you give it. Whatever you hold, you give it. So I strongly believe there is not a single human being who's not capable of anything to be given. It is only their excuse. They say, I don't have this and that. You give what you have. Obviously, that is the nature of the mind. We will always give only what we have. If we have hatred, we will only give hatred. This increases, improves, enhances the bhava sharira. Bhava shuddhi hota hai isme, and it will help you only in your journey. ये अगर डेवलप किए, इतना मुशक्कत करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. इतना तपस्या करो, ये करो, वो करो. तपस्या अकॉर्डिंग टू मी इज अ ईगो स्ट्रगल. All these sadhanas and all that what you do so rigorously, it is a ego struggle, because there is so much of doership in that. हमें करना है, हमें आत्म साक्षात्कार को प्राप्त करना, हमको शिव को प्राप्त करना है, जैसे वार के लिए जा रहे हैं. अरे थोड़े विनम्र बनो. हमारी औकात नहीं है कि हम जाके हासिल करें कुछ. इट इज नॉट इन आवर कैपेसिटी टू जस्ट गो एंड डू एनीथिंग. बट यू सी दैट ईगो इज देयर. आई रिमेम्बर इन गंगोत्री व्हेन आई वाज देयर इन द हिमालयस, एक महात्मा मिले थे. And he was talking about his jatil tapasya and all that, people in the caves and all they do. He said, don't be bothered by that. वो सब चित्त शुद्धि के लिए हो रहा है. That will not give आत्म साक्षात्कार. मोक्ष नहीं देता वो ऐसे तपस. That is only to purify the mind. After that, the mind has to sit and give up the ego. After that, that is who am I. ये मैं का भाव, ये सन्यासी अभी भी जिंदा है. this Mahapurusha title, that somebody is there that has to go. So that is a different journey, he said. This will not lead to that. This will not give that. But this will slowly take you to that position where your intellect becomes aware, and he says, still that subtleness is there. And that is their wish. If they wish to give it up, then they are on the final track. And that Mahatma told me one thing: जितना जटिल अहंकार उतना जटिल साधना. Because it is very simple matter, like what Ramana is talking, Nisarga is talking. You look at the Gyan Marga talks are very simple. Osho also talks sometimes, or Jitu very clearly talks about it. See, today only I was reading about Jitu. I just had a post. Exactly, it is the same. I'll read it here. Yeah, Jitu says here, when one is awake, when one has light in himself, in oneself, there is no seeking. One does not want any more experiences. When one is fully awake, अगर जागृत है कोई, and one has full light in self, वो प्रकाशित है, then there is no seeking. फिर क्या ढूंढे? One does not want any more experiences. उसको और कोई अनुभव की अभिलाषा ही नहीं है उसको. It is only the man in darkness who is always searching for light. केवल वो जो अंधकार में है वही तो प्रकाश को ढूंढ रहे. ये प्रकाश को ढूंढना ही तो साधना हो गया आपका. तो जितना जटिलता से आप ढूंढेंगे उसको, we are only making it complicated. We are becoming darker, and then we are seeking the lighter, more light. Whereas it's in a simple realization here. That's why Ramana is telling there is no self-realization. There is nothing called self-realization. You are already realized because you are that Atman, but your mind is clouded. You are sitting with your mind. You let go of the mind, you will automatically realize your nature. The self is only clouded by the mind. That is this panchakoshas. That's all. This panchakosha blocks the light. The self is in the center, and on that panchakosha is there. And that is blocking the light. You remove these panchakoshas. How do you remove? Shift your awareness from that and bring to the light. It will run back. It is not that if you just bring there, you are enlightened. No, it will run back again to the koshas, to the mind, and here and there. Again, bring back. Again, it will run. Again, bring back. Again, it will run. Again, bring. That is sadhana. That is why Ramana is telling, when you realize you are that light, there is no more effort. Effortless you become. Effort यानी अभी कुछ है बाकी, लाइट प्राप्त करना है, तो अंधकार में क्यों बैठे हैं? Isn't it foolish to sit in the darkness and search for light? Isn't it foolish to sit in the ego and talk all the philosophies about God, where we know that till the time there is ego, there is no God? Till the time there is I, there is no, and we don't want to focus on that I. Who am I? You don't want to resolve that. मनोनाशा नहीं करना है, मन को नाश नहीं करना है, अहम नाश नहीं करना है, बट शिव को प्राप्त करना है, शक्ति को प्राप्त करना है. ये प्राप्त करने वाला कौन है? हु इज द वन हु इज स्ट्रगलिंग टू डू दैट? अहम ही कर रहा है. And till the time aham is there, there is no Shiva and no Shakti for you. Simple equation has been explained in many different ways by Jitu, Ramana, Nisarga. That is why Ramana is telling there is nothing called self realization. You are already realized, but since your awareness is in that which is not realized, that is your mind, you have started believing that you are not realized. You believe you are a sinner. You believe you are ignorant. You believe you are in darkness. And from there, you struggle for the light. It's a very small, easy step, but still the most difficult step. Most difficult because if the mind is clouded, you cannot understand this reality. Usliye, you need all the other practices. Mantra jap karo, puja paठ karo, karm kand karo, because the mind is very rigid. Cloud is so strong कि ये बात अगर उनको सुनाएंगे, you talk to a criminal with this gyan, he'll run behind you with a knife. You talk to the worldly people about this, they will call you fool. They will harass you. They will even crucify you. Though it is ultimate truth. Why they crucify you? Because the mind is so clouded, it cannot even understand what you're talking. Forget real and unreal. समझ ही नहीं आता उसको. That is why Jesus was crucified. Mansur was killed. And even today, people are harassed who speak the truth. Why people can't understand? अरे बाहर का छोड़ो. बाहर का छोड़ो, अज्ञानियों को छोड़ो, forget the ignorant. I am telling, even when I talk this to spiritual people, I am persecuted. Spiritual people, so called in so many paths, the other paths are not able to understand what we are talking here. They feel this is some foul play. इसको हटाओ, इसको मिटाओ. Even the greatest paths can understand this. That's why it is simple yet not so easy. But I'm telling you, day one, if you're understanding this, thank God. Just feel grateful that I don't have to go through this all mess the whole world is going through. That is grace on you. Only when you have grace can you even understand what we are talking here. Can you have even Advaita Vasana? That is why Avadut Gita, first verse says, Advaita Vasanam Ishwara Kripa. Without the God's grace, you cannot have Advaita Vasana Jagrat in you. Now tell me, when you say ye Advaita Vasana, what I am doing, this practice, this interest that I am having toward the self, towards these deep tattvas, when you start realizing this interest which is coming is not my interest, it is coming by the grace, immediately you'll become humble in there. You'll say, where is the doership? Doership will die there. Suddenly your heart will be filled by only gratitude. That grace, thank you so much. Thank you because it's relieving me. What a relief I'm getting. All these years, what all I was into. And still there was confusion. Even after doing all this, today I'm able to understand. There is so much of clarity and this depth in knowing you is becoming deeper every day. Thank you. Bas, yahi Shuddha Bhavana hai. This will attract. It's like a vicious cycle. It will attract more grace in you. When that more grace comes, it will make you do some more efforts. I've always told this. Grace leads to efforts. Effort leads to grace. It's a vicious cycle. And that catches on like a dynamo fast. All these efforts to move towards effortlessness is Ishwar Kripa. We are not doing anything here. Grace of God. You might say that I contradict because there are times when I say you are the one who creates the grace. Parabhairava. You create grace. Now where is God? Then who are you? Shivoham, right? This God is not sitting in the sky. It's you only. This is one level up from there. We do it in level 2. We practice. You are Parabhairava and you generate your Shaktipat sitting there whenever you want. What just Lakshmanju, Swami Lakshmanju say? He says, you are Parabhairava, you generate your own Shaktipat, you create your own grace if you want, if you do not want, it's okay. That's his exact word. You are Parabhairava, you generate your own Shaktipat, you create your own grace if you want. If you do not want, it's okay. If you do not want means what? Then that Shiva will do Shaktipat. If you do not know I am Parabhairava, you will not generate Shaktipat, you will not generate grace, you will pray to the external Shiva. So he says, if you can, if you want, you generate your own grace, your own Shaktipat. If you do not want, it's okay. He will take care. At that moment, you surrender outside. Whatever practice, whatever paths you want, you surrender outside. It's a beautiful, beautiful terminology when we are talking from this aspect. And that's a different level altogether. For that, first we have to understand. We have to generate this. We have to, that's what we are doing this Sunday, right? The Sunday we are doing the same thing. How I am Parabhairava and how I can generate my own Shaktipat. For that, we have to activate and get the Vimarsha very deep. And then you realize how, when you want, you can get into that trance and you can generate, you have Shaktipat, Kundalini awakening, whenever you want. And you'll see grace, the impact of grace and the connection of that grace and things happening to you, that elevated ecstasy and things like that. Oh, that where is that grace coming? You only started it when you want. So what does that mean? You have an option to sit crying, sit complaining, find all the kutarkas in the world, find all the kutarkas in me, and then in that ego mind remain a victim, strongly cocooned in my own self created misery, blaming my own karmas and going more adhogati. That is one option that I have if I want. Or the other option is to realize that if I want, I can generate it. For that, I have to remove my ignorance. That's all. So the first one is you go more deeper into your ignorance. And that in that ignorance, when you suffer, you say, I have to do some puja, I have to do some havan, I have to do some mantra jap, I have to do some pradakshina, I have to do something. Tapas karna hai. But that ego will not be left. That I will be there. I. मुझे ही करना है, मुझे ही फंसना है इसके अंदर और मुझे ही निकलना है इसके अंदर से. दैट इज वाई दैट हिमालयन सेंट टोल्ड मी, जितना जटिल अहंकार उतना जटिल साधना. सो इग्नोरेंस दबा के रखो और फिर उसके अंदर और प्रयत्न करो. एक हवन ठीक नहीं है, अगले हफ्ते फिर और एक हवन करेंगे, हर महीना करेंगे, ये भी करेंगे, वो भी करेंगे, सुबह ये मेडिटेशन, शाम को ये मेडिटेशन. अरे यार, where is this I? It is still active there, full active, full blown. और उस पे ताज भी रखा दिया सर पे. आप एक्स वाई जेड योगी, आई एम अ डैश योगी, टाइटल भी एक डाल दिया उसके अंदर. टू एनहेंस दैट सटल ईगो, स्पिरिचुअल ईगो लिटिल मोर डीपर, एंड दैट आई विल एंगेज इन मोर एंड मोर तपस. जितना जटिल अहम उतना जटिल साधना. दैट हिमालयन मॉन्क टोल्ड मी. वो विजिट बहुत डीप था मेरा. दैट डीप, दैट 2023, that I had gone one visit to Himalaya and that's it. After that, Himalaya का जोश ही गया. After that, Kedarnath next year they said, and I said, no, thank you. You go ahead. Kailash. जाके आओ। आई गॉट अ टेस्ट ऑफ व्हाट इट इज। और जो मुझे सीखना था, परमात्मा ने सिखाया, गुरु मंडला ने सिखाया। That I even till now talk about that whole visit. So many things unraveled जो हम सोचते रहे, मेरे मन में एक ख्याली पुलाव about Himalayas and things like that. And when I go there, I see यहाँ पे भी माया है. So that gave me a lesson. There is no place that there is no Maya. You cannot escape. You cannot say that if you go to the mountains or the snowfall or the forest, you are free from that, or the world is free from. No, you'll find it everywhere. Then why run? Why can't I sit in my own temple and meditate? Yesterday, what we said, right? My own temple. This is my own temple in which I am generating the whole thing. So, Devad, spirituality is very, very simple. Be complicated. इतना जटिल कुछ नहीं है. If you understand these things and if you just understand the science that of what is this spirituality about, ये क्या है, what is moksha, mukti, what is self realization, उसका बंधन क्या है. People talk obstacles बहुत है. Obstacle कर्मा है, obstacle वर्ल्डलीनेस है, ऑब्स्टिकल डिजीज है, ऑब्स्टिकल दरिद्रता है, ऑब्स्टिकल इवल फोर्सेस है, ऑब्स्टिकल ये है वो है. आई एम टेलिंग देयर इज ओनली वन ऑब्स्टिकल, ओनली वन, जिसके अंदर ये सब समा हुआ है. मन, माइंड. इफ यू गेट दिस स्ट्रेट, यू आर कम टू द मूट कॉज ऑफ एवरीथिंग. ये सारे अभी बताया ना मैं, ऑल दिस इज वेयर इन द माइंड. So how about addressing the mind only directly instead of sitting with all these departments one by one, obstacle departments? And one simplest yet most powerful thing to handle the mind is awareness. अगर मन ही सबका फसाद, जड़ का फसाद है, फसाद का जड़ है, whatever it is. If that is the main cause of my suffering and misery, and I am experimenting, if I live in my mind, there is suffering. And if I rise above the mind, if I drop the mind, there is nothing. There is peace. Again, I come into the mind. Oh, there is karma. Rise above. You don't understand what is karma. The impacts of karma is happening there in the mind. Mind is affected by karma. Awareness is never affected. So you have to keep practicing and seeing. कहाँ हो रहा है? The moment you understand suffering, it is very, very clear. By now, all the practitioners of shifting into awareness, जितने भी हैं, they know now. अभी suffering हो रहा है तो I am in the mind. Simple. I am in the wrong place. So क्या करना है? Raise, lift, shift from there. यहाँ पे वो प्रश्न आते ही नहीं अभी. जैसे you see in all other paths and community, my children are not listening to me. What to do? I have wealth problems. What to do? I have health problems. What to do? I have neighbor problems. What to do? I have worries, what to do. I have stress, what to do. I have forgetfulness, what to do. Nobody asks that kind of questions here. You see all the questions, what they come? Very deeper. All questions are related how to be out of this mind. So that is stupidity when you keep on asking those kind of questions. Sansarik, mind related. वो तो वही बात होगी ना, same thing. You are in your mind and you want to sort it out. Not wanting to move away from the mind. You want to sit in that mind, which is the cocoon of all this nonsense. And in that nonsense, you want to find some naya nonsense solution. Because whatever comes from the mind is going to be nonsense only. All the solutions are nonsense. That is why you see, you investigate and see. If you find some solution from the mind, that also will not be forever. Forever जो है permanent, एक ही awareness. You have to move towards awareness. That is only shashwat. Whatever solution you find in the mind also is temporary only. आफ्टर समटाइम्स द सिचुएशन चेंजेस, यू हैव टू चेंज द सोल्यूशन। परमानेंट कुछ भी नहीं है वहां पे, तो ये खेल चलते ही रहता है उधर, अंत नहीं है इसका। दैट इज वाई कभी this problem you want to sort out, you feel good, ha, this sorted out. By the time you say ha sorted out, you have a new problem, you will run behind it. That sorted out, you will get another. Endless hai, punarpi janmam punarpi maranam. So that is because of the nature of this mind to hold on to things, everything. That is what we are learning, nirlamba yoga. What does Shiva teach? He says, no Salamba yoga for you, only Nirlamba yoga. Salamba yoga means that which you catch with the mind. So if you are catching a mantra japa, it is Salamba yoga. Get this clear. If you are doing a puja, it is Salamba yoga. If you are catching to anything which uses the mind to do sadhana, it is Salam yoga. And Shiva says, Nirlam yoga. You have to give up everything. Everything has to go. Everything that uses the mind, including the Guru Mandalas, that also uses the mind. And they are all concepts. Whatever comes to the mind, whatever comes to the mind is a projection. It is called Vikshepa. Vikshepa is not real, it is an imagined projection. That is why Yoga Vasisht says, even Vasishtha Mahamuni taught Rama the art of giving up all the concepts. Again and again, he says, you'll not be free until you have any concept. One single thought also is a concept. However great that thought might be, however great you might say it is of my Shiva, it is of my Shakti, it is of this deity, that deity, it is of my Guru, it is of the Guru Mandala. No, it is still Salamba. You're catching on to something yet. Till the final last concept goes that you're holding on to, you cannot take the plunge into Chidakasha. The plunge into Chidakasha is what is called Nirlamba. How does a child jump? If a child is standing out and the father is down, and the child will just jump because he knows the father is there to hold it. That is called the leap of faith. Not by the mind understanding, by practice. Practice इतना हो गया, इतना practice हो गया है, we without support systems, with no support of the mind, no concept of the mind, you can simply float. That is Nirlam Yoga. And here we are striving again and again for that. All the retreat practices you can see, all those who have attended the retreats, they are all Nirlam Yoga. Within moments, you are supposed to let go of everything and jump into that Chidakasha. And what happens? Nothingness. That is Shiva. That nothingness is Shiva. Chidakasha. Okay, it's 10:30. Okay. Any questions on today's session? I'll be putting this on YouTube. Everything doesn't come on YouTube. Sometimes I take a part of it, and this is good enough to go. Any other questions on this? Same topics? नहीं है तो tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is Friday, I think. Yeah, tomorrow we'll have one more session on this. Saturday we'll have preparatory. Sunday we'll have the webinar. And then from Monday onwards, we'll begin the free sessions for deep Ramana, Arunachala, I am that. And if you are doing the Sunday thing, you'll find it more deeper to activate grace, to have vimarsha. Okay. So we'll end the session that today. No other questions, right? Fine. We'll end it with a short prayer. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Arunachal Shiva. Bye.